Today on Attack, Baratunde Thurston is back as co-host, and I'll be sitting down with action sports legend Travis Pastrana to chat about his new stunt film, Nitro Circus 3D. Then on DVD-Tuesday, Chris Gord gets his hands on the latest flicks hitting the shelves, including 4, 3, 2, 1, and Detention. And prepare to lock and load, we've got a first look at the new 007 trailer, Skyfall, in the feed. Don't go anywhere, Attack starts now!
I got into the dance, and I'm sorry. Welcome to Attack of the Show. I am Baratunde Thurston.
Yes!
Thank you.
I'm so happy to be hosting with you today. I'm Candace Bailey.
Yeah! And I'm happy that you're here.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
We're coming to you live. Yeah,
We
yes.
do it live. You were out yesterday in Uzbekistan or something.
I was sick.
I'm sorry.
I had sushi. Probably shouldn't have, because a lot of times I have sushi, I get sick. But this was like a real sick deal. I was on the bathroom floor, sleeping the whole day.
And you weren't just drunk.
I wasn't drunk.
Okay, just
I wish I was drunk. Are you kidding? I wish.
So yesterday, when Sarah was filling in, we had a hashtag merger of our names. We became Saratunde.
Saratunde, I like it. I like
Now
it.
you're back. How about Candatunde?
Candatunde.
You guys like that? All right.
I don't know if it sounds quite as good, but we were going through a couple different names. We said, what did we say? We said Canatunde, but then that sounds like fish.
Which
and
he is allergic to.
That's just bad news bears everywhere.
Yeah, we don't want to see that.
And then we tried a couple more, but I think Candatunde is the best.
It's the best of the lot.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, well, how about we investigate those pesky internet tubes?
I think we should. It's time to go around the net.
Going.
Everyone has got Summer Games fever right now.
But personally, I actually like the Winter Olympics more. I feel like it's more of a challenge.
Really?
And the next ones are going to be in Sochi, Russia. Ooh. Here's a sneak preview of their opening ceremonies.
Okay, just to be clear, that was not a snuff film. No, that was Russians fishing with a grenade.
Yeah, like you do.
Right? Like you do, yes.
You know,
The
it's
redneck
also,
Russians.
coincidentally, how Russians choose their prime minister every 2 years.
Now, when the Dish Network made some unnecessary cuts to its broadcast lineup, AMC decided to take matters in its own hands with a viral ad.
In this plea to Dish to bring them back, the Walking Dead network flooded the streets of New York with very realistic zombies, and you thought corporate infighting was boring.
Zombies?
It's actually very simple. There's a particular program. First, you convert their lost into condos. Then you raise the rent, change the name of the neighborhood, move a Starbucks and a Gap into the area, highlight it all on the Times, and people just kind of leave on their own.
That seems so thought out.
Yeah, it's a very specific tried and true method.
Okay, good to know. And now this track meet is the closest we could come to showing you footage from the Summer Games. I love this.
It actually combines the athleticism of the Olympics with the frustration of trying to watch the Olympics. Amazing! Amazing!
Oh my gosh, I love that. You know, he does have a point, though. The shortest distance between two places is a straight line.
That dude is my hero, and more important than that, he is not an athlete, he's an artist with a very, very hard paintbrush.
Seriously, what happens in a race like that? If somebody just runs through them and then runs into your lane, do you get a redo?
I mean,
clearly, without that guy.
He needs some kind of development deal, that kid.
What was he doing?
Yeah.
What a crazy guy.
By crazy, you mean awesome.
I wish I could have seen that in person. That would have, oh, so good. Anyways, moving on. The internets. They giveth and they taketh away.
Best of all, they make people fall down. What's up with the world today? Well, let's find out. The airing of grievances used to be a tradition reserved for December 23rd, the unholy day of Festivus. But now, with social media and online product reviews, grievances are flowing all year long. And guess what? Companies are listening. The Wall Street Journal recently reported that a variety of companies are taking internet complaints to heart. LL Bean, my favorite, obviously, noticed a slew of online reviews that were slamming their Supima line of cotton-fitted shirts. I know, right? What's next? Their classic flyweight stocking-footed chest waders? All the negative reviews alerted them to a manufacturer's defect, and being the good company that they are, they replaced over 6,000 orders of the sheets, and they're not the only ones. Even Walmart tracked customer reviews to realize a wireless carrier wasn't activating USB cellular internet sticks. Way to go, Walmart! By the way, I never thought I'd say those words in my life, and I'm pretty sure I'll never say them again. But companies aren't just using social media for problem solving. Frito-Lay, for instance, used a Facebook app to let fans choose their new chip flavors, which resulted in amazingness like hot and spicy crab and pickled cucumber, proving that democracy works especially well when you're stoned. Of course, social media isn't a totally reliable source of marketing information just yet. Lots of people have fake Facebook profiles or follow train wrecks on Twitter just for fun. And companies have been known to pay people to post positive reviews of their own products and negative reviews, slamming their competitors. I'm looking particularly at you, Mitch463, and your negative review of the Heritage Farm squirrel-proof bird feeder. It's a damn good bird feeder, Mitch! And you know this. Now I've worked myself up again. Could somebody please give me some hot and spicy crab chips, please? Get some of that around here. Now, last week on Reddit or the Book of Faces or Twitter or maybe even your local newspaper's website, you may have seen a link to a very disturbing study claiming that fluoride, that stuff in tap water, mouthwash, and those weird foam mouthpieces your childhood dentist used, causes your IQ to drop. What? Yeah, now normally your built-in BS detector would be going off right now, but if you click through past the headline, you see this story was posted on Reuters, the venerable news agency that's been telling it like it is since 1851. Finally, a reason to stop brushing my teeth. I knew I was right, Mom. But don't give up on the dental arts just yet. The comedy site Cracked dug into this a bit and discovered that Reuters actually has an entire section of its site where anyone can post anything so long as they call it a press release. Even crazy people like the New York State Coalition Opposed to Fluoridation, whose website, by the way, looks like John Doe's notebook from 7. Yeah. Check that out. Now listen up, newspaper people, folks. I know you're all broke because you're still trying to figure out how to make money off that thing called internet. But please don't sell ad space to people who just want their backwoods cabin manifestos to be legitimized by a credible news organization. I worked at The Onion for years, and trust me, most people have a hard enough time distinguishing fake news from real news without having the Reuters seal of approval. How about this instead? Don't try to sell headline space or fight to see who comes first in the eye-grabbing headline game. How about instead just focusing on the basics, like being correct? Look at it this way. When you're getting factually outperformed by a site whose front page recently included the headline, 6 terrifying bats you won't believe aren't photoshopped, you probably don't have to try that hard. Now, back in August of 1994, a senator named Aaron McComb was given control over a new government commission known as the TEC. That same month, an explosion killed the wife of a DC police officer named Max Walker. He thought his wife was gone forever, but using the senator's new resources, he came to realize there was still time to save her. This true story was later made into a documentary film called Time Cop, the 19th best travel film of all time, according to Metacritic. You see, I love time travel movies, and I'm excited because it appears there are a couple new films on the horizon looking to bump Time Cop down on that list. And I say to you filmmakers, good luck, sir. The opening film of the upcoming Toronto International Film Festival will be Rian Johnson's Looper, a movie about mobsters who send Joseph Gordon-Levitt back in time to kill people. That's right, leave it to the mobsters to finally crack this whole time travel thing. As I recall, it was Tommy Quantum Physics Palumbo or Mickey the Wormhole who were able to figure it all out. Actually, the movie does look pretty damn interesting. And then there's the upcoming Wachowski brothers movie Cloud Atlas, which shows you what Tom Hanks' hairstyle might look like in a post-apocalyptic future. If you want to see these movies now, you'll have to time travel to the fall and watch them in the theater, and you'll probably want to take a date with you, maybe even yourself. But at the end of the night, when you go in for that kiss, just remember what Time Cop says. The same matter cannot occupy the same space at the same time, or this will happen. Thank you, Time Cop. Thank you. Don't go anywhere, everybody. After the break, we're going to learn the do's and the don'ts of traveling through time from the authors of So You Created a Wormhole. Stick around. For some time travel has been a quaint, bordering on ludicrous impossibility for physics. For others, it's the subject of their book. Please welcome co-authors of So You Created a Wormhole, The Time Traveler's Guide to Time Travel, Phil Hornshaw and Nick Hurwitz. Welcome, dudes. Welcome to the set. Welcome to this time. So let's just jump right into it. You've probably studied a lot of methods of time travel and putting this book together. Can you give a broad overview of some of the basics of time travel technology, the different methods we have at our disposal?
Yeah, we kind of divided up. We, believe it or not, did some science research.
Really?
But we pulled a lot from pop culture, like Back to the Future,
Okay.
things like that. So, there's wormholes, which we highly recommend, and black holes, which we don't so much because you're probably going to die if you get stuck there.
Probably. Not guaranteed, though.
No, you could pop out the other side, but we're not willing to find out.
In terms of black holes, you talk about this thing, spaghettification. What does that mean? What is spaghettification?
That's a Stephen Hawking term. That's, well, black holes
Stephen
just
Hawking created a term called spaghettification.
Yes.
That is a cool science.
right?
Him and Neil deGrasse Tyson.
He's way into Italian.
So yeah, like a black hole is a super dense star, right?
Yeah.
And it's got all kinds of gravity. And so spaghettification is the idea that the gravity as you approach a black hole by your head would be different than by your feet, say. So you
Okay.
get actually stretched out into a string of atoms. And it would be, it'd be pretty awful,
That's
awful way to die.
horrible and delicious, man.
So,
If you're into that sort of thing, which I am absolutely not. And how do you recommend choosing a time machine, assuming that I have my choice of like the DeLorean or some kind of portal, or obviously not black hole, but wormhole? What are the factors at play?
It kind of depends on where you want to go.
Okay.
if you just want to go super far to the future, just a spaceship that can go faster than light speed might serve your purposes.
Okay. Well, hyper jump action.
Yeah, or relativity. If you're going fast enough, then
Yeah.
time's moving slower for you
Right.
than it is for everyone else.
Okay.
Or like Doc Brown says, if you're
Like
time,
Doc Brown said. I love this.
he's a real guy. We've met him.
Yeah.
Awesome.
If you're going to time travel, if you're going to make a time machine out of a car, you might as well do it in style.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Now, the other thing I was struck by is the fact that you wrote this as a guide for time travelers. So you assume there's a big market for time travelers out there, which that's great. You believe that, but it also makes me worry, are we going to have time travel tourists ruining the business for the professionals out there? Are you flooding the market with amateur time travelers by explaining how to do it?
Right. Well, I mean, we have an idea of a governing body that would sort of police time travel. Because, yeah,
government.
exactly. It would
Yes.
get a little bit of a mess. But mostly I feel like time travelers sort of police themselves by becoming evil and using their powers to for their own personal game, kind of like Biff from Back to the Future. So
Who you also talk to, I
Right.
assume.
And dying. I
also,
mean,
Also that.
time travelers die at such an incredible rate that
Yeah.
you're probably not going to notice them.
So what happens when you run into yourself in time travel and a fight ensues between you and your other self?
yeah, not what happens in Time Cop. No.
Okay.
No, I would imagine it's a lot more like you know exactly what he's going to do. He knows exactly what you're going to do, and there's a lot of punch, block, and then stalemate, right? So-
Okay, okay, unless spaghettification enters the fray, and then it gets really nasty. What about if you get dropped into a war? I mean, we're at war constantly throughout history. If you go back in time, you might end up in the middle of a war field or a plague. Do you have any suggestions for going that far back?
Well, the second half of the book is a survival guide that kind of highlights some of the key wars.
Yeah.
And mostly it's just about faking it.
Right.
Unfortunately, you're probably not going to be prepared to fight in the Civil War
Right.
or any sort of revolutions that have happened throughout time. So
Or wield a sword.
yeah, you just have to pretend like you know what's going on and kind of keep your head down, because otherwise, like I said, you're going to die.
Also, read a book before you go and avoid stuff like that. Like,
Avoid stuff like that.
like, well, why are you traveling back to plague times? Like, have fun. It's time travel. you know?
Okay. So, since you've written a guide to time travel and to times themselves, what is the best time of all time?
Well, I prefer the Cretaceous period because
Avi.
I like riding Triceratops, so that's the best time for me.
And what about you?
I prefer the distant future. I'm upset that we don't have all have our own spaceship yet.
Okay.
I mean, I always wanted to be Han Solo when I was growing up, and that wasn't a career my guidance counselor said was on the docket. So that's where I want to go.
Well, thank you both so much for coming to Attack of the Show. The Time Traveler's Guide to Time Travel. It's out now.
It is out now.
Get it done. Thanks to Phil Hornshaw and Nick Hurwich. And now over to Candace.
Thank you. Still ahead, motocross star Travis Pastrana will be here live to explain how he survived some of the craziest stunts that you will ever see on camera. And Chris Gore is coming over for movie night. He'll slam down the truth about detention and 4, 3, 2, 1 in DV Doomsday. Woo! Twinkle, twinkle, DVDs. Won't you show us movies, please? Welcome back, film expert Chris Gore.
I'm here. Oh, I'm here.
I
Sorry.
don't even know what I'm doing. Oh, okay, what's up first?
First, we have Detention.
All right. Now, this movie stars Josh Hutcherson from The Hunger Games and Dane Cook. How was it?
Well, in spite of Dane Cook, it's really good.
Do you not like Dane Cook?
I like some of the things he's done, not
I
the
feel the
movies.
same way as your voice just said.
Right, but it's sort of a mix of, I mean, it's your typical high school a horror film. Someone's killing
no.
teenagers.
Gonna die.
But it's told in such an original way. It's sort of mixes two decades. It's also a little bit like Scott Pilgrim, a little Back to the Future, and it has the weirdest way to time travel I've ever seen in a movie ever in the history of cinema.
Do tell.
They go inside of a bear,
That is weird.
It's very strange.
So
But
is it silly?
it's silly, but it also makes a lot of sense. I feel like the teenagers are really, it's grounded in some sort of reality, even though it's just over the top in kind of a Scott Pilgrim way. They use
Okay.
the graphics sort of popping up
So it's
on
still
screen.
somewhat realistic?
Yes, and Josh Hutcherson's really good at it. I mean, he's sort of the Ferris Bueller of the school, and it's just one of the most original horror movies I've seen in years. It also gets away from all that torture porn that we've seen, lately. I mean,
there it
that's
is.
not an element. But yes, they time
That is
travel
so
using
interesting.
a stuffed bear.
it's kinda cool.
It makes absolute sense. It
Okay.
does make sense.
All right, I like it. So what's the bottom line?
Bottom line, highly original, loaded with extras. Buy it. Make sure to see it.
I will.
So good.
Now that I know.
Quite the
What's our
surprise.
next DVD?
The next one is ATM.
Okay, now waiting in a line for an ATM can be a nightmare. Someone's always depositing checks, cash, making withdrawals. Is that what the movie's about?
Yes, it is about that.
I thought so.
It is about that. It's basically about people trapped in an ATM, like two dudes and a chick. The chick played by Alice Eve, who we all love. They're trapped at the ATM because they're scared of a guy standing outside of the ATM. That's the whole thing.
We showed this trailer on the show, I remember.
And what's so funny about it is it fits into that category of so bad it's good, and it's bad in the sense that like the acting is amazing, the tension and suspense is there, but the thing is you're sitting here going, how can these people be so stupid? There's just a dude standing there. If they all three went out and rushed him,
What if they're
could
gonna
take
rush
the dude.
him? What if he has a gun? What if he has a knife and he stabs them? I would stay in there.
Exactly.
I think they're smart.
Maybe that's your first thought. But
I
then
haven't seen the movie, but-
everything that they do, it's just like constant mistake after mistake. It just gets worse and worse for them.
it's one of
And
those.
it's funny because I felt so smart after watching it. I felt so smart thinking, I am smarter than all the people in this movie.
Okay, what's the bottom line?
Bottom line is rent it. It's a surprise. You would
Okay.
not think that this is something
All right.
that you would actually
I will rent it.
enjoy. Well, I'm glad.
Or I'll just borrow it. What else do you have to check out?
4, 3, 2, 1.
What is this film about?
Well, it's about 4 girls over 3 days in 2 cities with one chance. Sort of.
Is that seriously it?
Yes, exactly. That's actually.
I thought that was
Well, it's a tagline also.
What?
It's very convoluted with their sort of intersecting lives in sort of a Run Lola runway. But what I really like about this is all of the women in this, they all take advantage of the dudes. One of the best scenes in the movie is this girl finds out that a guy she was kind of into, she's actually been tricked. And there's a dude there that is actually the face of the guy, and then the other
Kevin
guy's been
Smith?
sending her emails. Yes, Kevin Smith has a cameo, and he's very vulgar in this film. I will say he's very vulgar,
Okay.
just like he is in real life, just like you would expect Kevin Smith to be. But she just beats the crap out of these 2 dudes that tricked her on the internet, tricked her into falling in love. And
In what, a day or something?
no,
2
it's
days?
just what I like about it is all the women in this film they're really tough and angry and mean and strong-willed and
All right.
scary in some instances, and they're just it's really you don't get to see women portrayed this way in films. They're usually the girlfriend or the this or whatever, and in this they really
All right.
kick some butt.
Okay, what's the bottom line?
Which I like. But hey, rent it. It's definitely you've got to see it.
I think we have like a second for a quick pick.
Yes.
What's it gonna be?
The Hatfields and the McCoys, Kevin
I heard it's really
Costner,
good.
Bill Paxton. It's a miniseries. Unbelievable. This thing was so good. I was riveted. Definitely, you have to see this.
All right. Thank
So
you,
good.
Chris.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Thank
For
you.
more gore, check out his Podcrash podcast on iTunes. And now over to Baratunde and Sarah.
All right, let's check in with our favorite daytime talk show.
Oprah's been off the air for about a year, dude.
Oh, this is better than Oprah.
What did you just say? No, seriously, you can't say that.
It's true.
Thou shalt not blaspheme the Oprah. Not cool. Not cool.
True.
And now, back to Batman
Hot dogs are the last great American treat.
and Batman
10 million will die by fire if I am weak.
live.
That's when I said, no, Mr. Mayor, the real villains are the plastic bags.
I don't
We
care.
all love reusable bags, but don't punish the citizens who just want to shop, am I right? Gosh, I am so excited for our first guest. Did you get a chance to see her backstage?
Basic threat analysis revealed 15 points of weakness before I stopped.
Right, okay. Well, let's bring her out, shall we? Our next guests Midnight Dawn saga first took the fiction world by storm and has exploded into a billion-dollar franchise. Please welcome Sandra Lakewood. Hello.
Thank you.
Sandra, your last book left on such a cliffhanger. Edmund left Cassandra on the mountaintop, pregnant with his hellspawn baby. Oh, what a cruel conundrum. Oh, what's going on? Where did Edmund go?
Oh, Batman, you know I can't tell you that.
Oh, please, you must temper this fire that burns within me. Your next book doesn't come out for a year.
I know, and I am sworn to secrecy, so you guys are all gonna have to...
Where is he?
Oh!
Great Scott!
Where is Edmund?
You psycho!
Oh, okay, hey, language, please.
Where is he?
I'm not gonna...
Tell me where he is.
No!
I have one rule,
Well, that just about wraps things up for us.
and I'm about to break it. Tell me where's Edmund? Where's Edmund?
Secret wooden aisle!
Secret wooden aisle, are you happy?
I can never be happy, for I walk the path of an outcast. Being happy is something that I can never do. But it's good he left her. She should be with Caleb anyway.
Are you out of your mind? Edmund is the baby's father.
Team Caleb!
Oh, I can't wait. I don't want to wait.
You gotta wait.
I guess I gotta
She
wait.
said you have to
The
wait. You
lady
gotta
is
wait.
right. She knows. She's the author of the book. I found a nickel in my suit.
Right now, it's time to start the feed.
All the news you need to know.
It's Tuesday, July 31st, and here are your top stories. Quit your hacks and stop your redirects because Hulu Plus is finally on Apple TV. Yes, the video streaming service app was quietly added to home screens of Apple's set-top boxes this morning. It'll join other outside content providers like Netflix, Vimeo, YouTube, and a bunch of sports stuff. Of course, the Hulu Plus app features an appropriately Apple-stylized menu and user interface. And if you're already a subscriber, using the service on Apple TV is as simple as logging in. But if you haven't explored this wonderful world of video streaming, sign up now and enjoy a free 1-week trial. Now, it's about $8 a month, which is a small price to pay for immediate access to shows like Community, Arrested Development, The X-Files, and oh, there's so many more. Just check it out. Next up, radio may kill the radio star, okay? Yeah, just follow me on this bit of tech Darwinism. Now, Spotify has taken a swing at Pandora with a new radio streaming Android app. Previously, mobile versions of the online music service were only available to iPhone and iPad users. But now, Spotify has opened its market, digging into Pandora's stranglehold over internet radio. Now, it may sound like a bunch of capitalist garble, but this is good news for us, you guys. Pandora hasn't been improved in, like, forever, and Spotify is constantly on the up and up with awesome new features. So I'm thinking listeners will see some pretty cool updates in online radio as these two services duke it out. Survival of the fittest. Yes! Now, yesterday, NASA confirmed that all but one of the 6 American flags on the moon are still standing. But there's one problem. They've all been bleached white. It may come as a surprise to you guys, but conditions on the moon are less than hospitable for fabric. The flags have been subjected to alternating 14-day periods of searing sunlight, with temperatures hitting more than 200 degrees Fahrenheit, followed by stints of darkness with temps plummeting to negative 250. On top of that, 40-plus years of UV radiation from unfiltered sunlight has done even more damage, needless to say. But hey, you know what? I'm thinking it's probably a good thing. Because, when the Martians, they're inevitably going to set up a moon base as the final step before conquering Earth, right? Yeah. Well, hopefully, they're going to see the whitewashed flags and take them as a sign of surrender. Yeah. And finally, when he's not parachuting with the Queen of England, James Bond spends most of his time shooting baddies and doing the ladies. You can see him do both, as well as get a look at the new Q and see Javier Bardem Bardem as a blonde Bond villain in this new trailer for Skyfall. Check it out.
Show Travis Pastrana. They left us on a bit of a cliffhanger there. Obviously, you're here, so you pulled the ripcord.
Oh, that's pass or fail, man. No, it's actually one of the more mellow stunts in the movie, but it's that was one of the more fun things that we got to do.
Yeah, so how do you come up? That was a double Elvis.
Yes.
Jumping off a roof of a building, hitting a spongy balloon object that launches you.
The Elvis actually got hurt more than I did. I landed safely. The Elvis flew off the blob and onto the cement.
That's actually true to Elvis,
Yeah,
so
that
that
happens.
works for the character. How do you actually develop the stunts? I mean, you've been in this business for a while.
Yeah, well, to stay alive in this business for a long enough time, we've made a rule that no one can come up with a stunt unless they're willing to do it first.
So that ought to limit the craziness.
It does, especially we worked at first with some of the guys like Johnny Knoxville and those, and they're like, we're gonna bring in a bull. I'm like, wait, we can't bring in a bull.
Yeah.
If a bull doesn't hit us, the footage doesn't work, and if it does hit us, we're getting hit by a bull.
Right.
Yeah, so like all the stuff that we do on Nitro, we try to make it so it's possible to do.
Okay.
And the problem is you can't really use just a fail. So like epic fail, someone has to make it. So if someone gets hurt, you're like, crap, now I got to step up and do it. So it's, you know, I mean, of course you feel bad that they get hurt, but you're even.
Oh, that's good. So you have a heart.
Yeah, you feel, but a little heart. But more so, you're like, man, now someone's got to step up and make this happen. So it's.
Do you ever let fans contribute ideas, or do you ever crowdsource some of your stunt ideas?
Well, they'd have to do it first. So I mean, that's just, you know.
You hear that, folks? You'd have to do it first.
If you're willing to do something first, and it's really big, yeah, we'll
And then
watch.
one of the things I'm struck by when I looked at a lot of the clips of what you've done, there's a lot of science and math and geometry involved in what you're doing. Do you have like a chief scientist of stunthood?
Yes, we do. He's always wrong.
Really?
Thank goodness, because okay, for Nitro Circus the movie, we got in a bus and they said, okay, to make it 200 feet with 8 people in the bus, and here's the weight and your trajectory, you're going to need to go 79 miles an hour. Well, our bus topped out at 72. So everyone got out, and then we had one guy, we call him Wheels, he's in a, spina bifida, has in a wheelchair. He's like, well, what's the worst that could happen? I get hit so hard I can walk again? And everybody.
That is your dude right there.
Everyone's like, all right, well, if he's going, we got